Hi, here is Liprandi, and today we're gonna play with some cool toys from the Superpowers collection made by Kenner in 1984. But first, please help us remembering all those fabulous toys from the past. Subscribe to our channel. We are reviewing vintage toys from our huge collection. In the 1970s, toy company Mego was making action figures for both DC Comics and Marvel Comics superheroes. But in the early 1980s, Mego's company died, so now DC Comics was looking for a new toy company to represent their superheroes. At the same time, toy company Kenner was looking for a subject for a new line of action figures to compete against the Masters of the Universe from Mattel. Action figures with action features. So they made a deal. Kenner wanted to use the superpowers of each character as a gimmick for the action figures, so there was the title for the new toy line, Superpowers Collection. McFarlane Toys is producing a new toy line made to continue the old one from almost 40 years ago, and they are coming out right now with a new Batmobile, but this one is the real deal, the original Kenner Batmobile from 1984. Also, to support the toy line, the animation company Filmations continued their TV show Super Friends, changing titles to match the one of this collection. Kenner made a total of 34 different characters, including Clark Kent, in 3 waves. Each figure from the first 2 waves came with its own specific DC Comics mini comic book to match the character. But the same figures were also sold in different countries or as part of some promotions on smaller cards and without the mini comic books. Character designs and colors were quite bright as they were in comic books in the early 1980s. We can think of artists like George Perez. We can start having a closer look at the Caped Crusader himself in light blue and grey. The figure is 4.5 inches tall and it's got the same articulations that Kenner had used in other toy lines from the 1980s, such as Raiders of the Lost Ark or Mask. Head can rotate, the arms can move up and down, the legs can move forwards and backwards, and we can bend its knees. Since it was a line of superheroes, a certain amount of capes was needed, and Kenner used it to make some beautiful ones out of cloth. It was nice having a wide cape to cover the figure's shoulders. Batman, of course, doesn't have any superpowers, but he must be able to punch the enemies, so when we squeeze his legs, he punches forwards and backwards. In 1990, for the Dark Knight collection, a line of action figures based upon the first theatrical Batman movie from Tim Burton, Kenner started from this sculpt, adding a few details and removing the knee articulation, as a body for the Michael Keaton Batman. But in the Superpowers collection, there was no recycling at all. Each character had its own sculpt, its own body and molds. And here we have Robin, the boy wonder. This must be Dick Grayson in a very classic looking outfit. He's slightly shorter than Batman, of course, but he's got the same points of articulation, so we can rotate the head, move the arms up and down, move the legs forwards and backwards, and bend at the knees. And we can notice that his body is unique to this character. The sculpt is unique. We have sculpted buttons for his shirt and a nice texture over his pants. And Robin also comes with a nice yellow soft cloth cape. Each cape in this line was removable and it stayed attached to the figure through a plastic clip which was sewn into the cloth cape and then went around the figure's neck. Since he doesn't have the same body mass as Batman, Robin will use karate to fight against his enemies. Just squeeze his legs and he will chop them. Choo, choo, choo. And here we have the Batmobile, which is one of the nicest toys in this collection. Our box is not in perfect shape, but we can still appreciate it. It's got nice, colorful and bright comic book style arts and graphics. On the side we have a description and a picture of the toy itself. Of course, the 2 figures were not sold with the vehicle. Action figures not included. And on the back we have a sort of a comic book to describe all of its action features. And here's the toy. It looks great. Its design is the same we had for Batmobile in comic books in the early 1980s, which was of course inspired by the way it looked in the 1960s live-action TV show starring Adam West with a split windshield. We have bat symbols on the sides. These are not stickers. These are decals applied in the factory. We have some paint applications for the black and white of this Batman mask on the front. And we have different colors also for the interiors, because we have silver plastics for the seats, yellow plastic for this lever, and orange translucent plastic for the windshield. If you are familiar with Batmobiles made by Kenner in the early 1990s, well, this was on another level. Its quality was much superior, better materials, it's got thicker and heavier plastic, and its construction is also much more complex. There are two seats, so we will be able to put both Batman and Robin inside, and since they are wearing cloth capes, we won't have to remove them. In this close-up, I just wanted to show you that they have detailed the dashboard with a nice leather texture, even in places that I cannot reach with my fingertips under these windshields. One of the nicest aspects in this toy, in terms of play value and fantasy, is that all of the action features are activated by buttons and levers that are placed inside the cockpit, accessible to the figures. And now we are ready to roll away for a crime-fighting night in Gotham City. When you push the car forwards or backwards, it makes this annoying, weird, cracking sound. This was intentional, and it is a mechanical sound. The idea was to have a roaring engine for the Batmobile, but to be honest, this wasn't a good idea. And here's the first action feature. When we push this yellow button forwards, the white Batman eyes move to reveal the front lights. To activate the Bat-ram, just pull this black lever. And here we go. And to activate the Bat-claw hidden in the back, we have to push on this black button. The Bat-claw will come out and grab the enemy. And here we have Batman and Robin in the Batmobile. The Superpowers collection from Kenner was a beautiful toy line, designed in collaboration with some great comic book artists such as George Perez, Jose Garcia Lopez, Dick Giordano, and for the second wave even the great late Jack Kirby. In fact, this job he made for Kenner was one of the only royalties he received in his long and precious career. It is a common mistake thinking that the DC Comics superheroes made by Toy Biz in 1990 were made using the same molds from this toy line by Kenner, but actually they were just poorly made imitations. Probably Toy Biz just used Kenner action figures as a basis for their prototypes. We will review more figures and vehicles and even the playset from this toy line. If you are trying to buy these right now, they have become quite expensive over the years. McFarlane Toys is now rebooting this toy line with some nice action figures and cool vehicles with action features. We like them a lot, and probably we will review the new version of the Batmobile as well. Well, once again, if you liked this video, please let us know clicking on the like button here, subscribe to our channel, and let us know what you think of our toys, of our collection, of this video right here in the comments below. Ciao!